Welcome to the Way of Kanan. This is my story of searching for what truly matters when traditional spiritual institutions seem to be falling apart. Together, we'll talk about important faith topics, look at how they connect to history in today's world, and share hope for a better future. I'm Leon Longard, but feel free to call me Kanan. So today I'm wearing my Joshua Tree shirt. I don't know if you've ever noticed it when I wear my various Star Wars themed shirts, but it's a group of Jawas looking like U2 in on the Joshua Tree album, and it was something my brother found on one of these like Etsy or something like that years ago for a gift, and I think that's kind of appropriate as I'm doing this program. Actually, I'm going to do this as a two-part um, post of 2 episodes. Just because of length, I'm thinking it might be a little longer than I want to put on for one. But Christmas is coming up. I thought, hey, about 11 years ago, 2014, I did a series of 5 blogs on 5 atypical Christmas songs that I was really liking, things that you wouldn't hear on your Christmas channel, not your typical type Christmas music or something you wouldn't hear in the store, but songs that talk about Christmas, that have a Christmas theme to them. And as I think about them, they really actually hit at some of the what Christmas really is about. And even if it's not the you know tinsel or chestnuts roasting on an open fire, or a sleigh ride across the snow, or meeting your love under the mistletoe or something like that. But these are kind of more um, kind of gritty. Some of them are a little gritty, but they're also just kind of they hit to what Jesus came for, and really what we hope, the hope we have because of the incarnation of Jesus. Um, and So I'm going to start out with, and probably, like I said, I'll probably do about 3 in the first episode, 2 in the last one, because the last one is really long. It's a longer one. It's about 7 minutes. Anyway, but this first one is by one of the bigger names that came out of the what was known as the Jesus music movement, or the Jesus rock movement of the 1970s. It predated what became known as contemporary Christian music. There's a guy named Randy Stonehill, and Randy Stonehill, in some ways, he was like the what's Weird Al before there was Weird Al. He didn't do parody, but he would do these quirky, satirical, loud songs, and sometimes his videos just had this weird theme to them. It was just the comedy involved in it was just really hilarious. In addition to the music that he did, but he also was really good at folk storytelling, ballad type songs that would get to your emotions. And some of them, yeah, I don't know. Like the one here, I don't know if I'd ever say I'd enjoy it, but it's something that sticks with you and just says something that you need to hear every once in a while. And so this one is called Christmas at Denny's, and it's a ballad about a drifter that's finding himself with a bunch of other nameless souls spending Christmas Eve at Denny's because he's got nowhere else to go. And it, I don't know, by the time some people watch this, it sounds like Denny's is like closing restaurants every, about 100 to 250 a year. Hopefully they're still around eventually. But back in the day, they were 24/7, 365 days a year. Recently, they cut down their Christmas and Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve hours to be like the 10 to 8 slot. I remember when they first did that, it was like big news that like managers were having trouble finding keys because they couldn't to lock the door because Denny's never closes. And that's kind of the point of the song. It's like, here's the one place you can go when you have no other place to go for Christmas. And so this drifter is in the process sharing his story, the circumstances that led him to where he is. And he kind of comes down to this simple prayer. Um, and it's a simple prayer that says, I don't need a miracle, sweet baby Jesus. Just give me help, or help me find some kind of hope in my heart. And sometimes when you're at the rock bottom, that's the only prayer that you can pray. And it is really what Jesus came into this world for. And I think of it, I've spent 8 years or more, I think, working with people experiencing homelessness around Indianapolis. And this story, the story of this song, is a story I often heard of the circumstances that would lead somebody to be living on the street, sleeping in a tent, um, enduring the cold, and not having any place to go for Christmas. And this is the type of song that really captures that life and that existence well. And as I think of it, it's the type of song that um, that tells you what really these people need most of all is hope. And what they're looking for is just a bit of hope. And I think sometimes we can be the hope that touches their lives. So hey, let's I'm gonna play the first one. Let's play Christmas at Denny's.
They got Christmas music piped in through the ceiling, and the refills of coffee are always for free. And the waitress on Graveyard and the surly night manager, they're wishing that all of us losers would leave. There's a star on the sign at the Texaco station, like the star long ago on that midnight clear. As I look all around at these cold, empty faces, I doubt that you'd find many wise men here. And I'm dreaming about a silent night, holy night, when things were all right. And I'm dreaming about how my life could have been if only, if only, if only. But somewhere down the road I gave up that fight. Merry Christmas, it's Christmas at Denny's tonight. Once I had a home and a wife and a daughter, had a company job earning middle class pay. Then Lisa got killed by a car near the schoolyard, and my wife started drinking just to get through each day. I will never forget that little red wagon turning to rust all alone in the rain. One morning I flagged down a truck on the highway. I just couldn't bear to go back there again. And I'm dreaming about a silent night, holy night, when things were all right. And I'm dreaming about how my life could have been if only, if only, if only. Well, it's not just the blind man who loses his sight. Merry Christmas, it's Christmas at Denny's tonight. And they say life's made of cruel circumstance. Fate plays the tune and we dance. The cop at the counter, he's the guardian angel. He watches these orphans through dark mirrored shades. And the register rings like a bell sadly tolling for the fools we've become and the price that we paid. Oh, when I was a boy, I believed in Christmas, miracle season to make a new start. I don't need no miracle, sweet baby Jesus. Just help me find some kind of hope in my heart. And I'm dreaming about a silent night, holy night, when things were all right. And I'm dreaming about how my life could have been if only, if only, if only. But I'll still be here at the morning's first light. Merry Christmas, it's Christmas at Denny's tonight. Merry Christmas, Christmas at Denny's tonight.
So in the original Christmas story, we read where the angels say to the shepherds, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and peace on earth to those with whom God is pleased." And sometimes you can find that hard to believe, that whole idea that there's peace on earth. Um, just seems to be kind of something that evades us at times. I mean, you look at the world around us and you're like, when is it coming? Because, I mean, look at where we're at right now. Um, two ongoing conflicts. One of them simmered down a little after a ceasefire, but there's been these two conflicts that have been going on for years in the last 2 years between Israel and the Hamas in the Gaza Strip. And even though our administration is claiming that they've brought about peace, 400 people have died since that ceasefire has been had been negotiated or signed. And ongoing, Ukraine has been going on for over 2 years now, and you're wondering when that's going to end. And somebody said he could fix it all in day one, and obviously a year later he hasn't. And I think that's really a sign of how elusive peace is. And I think the other thing, when you think of it, yeah, others, I mean, mass shootings that we see going on. We just had the massacre at Bondi Beach, carried out during a Hanukkah celebration. And really, it seems that a lot of times this time of year is when we see a lot of that happen. Maybe it just stands out more because of the just the contrast to, hey, this is supposed to be the season of peace and we're not having it. Or I don't know, maybe there's a spiritual component to it. Say what you can, say what you may want to say about a devil. There seems to be some type of an adversary that works to bring out the worst in humanity. And however that is working out in a spiritual realm, in a physical realm, it manifests itself in these acts of violence. And in some of that, it's the paradox of, you know, we live between, Christians talk about the idea of an already not yet manifestation of the kingdom of God. That when Jesus came, the kingdom of God was initiated on earth, but it won't come to its full fulfillment until Jesus returns. That's essentially a core theology within Christianity. Something I hold on to is the hope that there will be a final fulfillment of the kingdom of God. And so as I think about stuff like this, I often think of the U2 song Peace on Earth, which was on their All the Things You Can't Leave Behind album. They used it, I think, not post nine. It was like end of the '90s, beginning of the 2000s for the Concert of the Heroes. It was like one of those songs that they used after 9/11 when a number of artists came together to support the firefighters that had been, the families of the firefighters that had been lost in the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center. So, I mean, and so this song came out of a conflict, and it's been something to promote peace, but a recognition that peace is not real or fulfilled yet. And so as you hear the song, as I listen to songs, sometimes I'm like thinking it's kind of like if you remember the old Christmas song, I heard the bells on Christmas Day. It's the I heard the bells of our generation because it longs for peace but recognizes it's not real, and it almost can slip into this cynical idea if we're not careful. And I think when we realize that, when we look at the situation we're in, I think, and we think about the idea of peace on earth, a couple of different ways we can focus on it. There's the commercialism way, which is basically create my own world of peace around me and just ignore everything going on. As long as I have peace and I can create peace by buying all these products to create peace in my own little circle, life is good. You might even call it the Hallmark movie, Peace on Earth type thing. Or you can take the approach that, hey, it's not possible. I'm just giving up. It's kind of the cynical approach towards life or the nihilist approach to life. Or you can recognize and acknowledge and lean into the fact that there is pain in the world, but yet hold on to this hope that there is a final peace that is coming, and even work toward that peace and trying to create peace in our immediate world. And that's kind of the tone and kind of the place where this song goes. It's seeking peace. It's promoting. It's recognizing that there is still pain in the world, but hoping for and calling for and praying for that peace to be final. And the context of the song really fits because it was written relating to the Omagh car bombing. It was a car bombing that happened in Northern Ireland shortly after they signed the Good Friday peace deal that was going to bring peace to Northern Ireland in 1980 or 1998, or I think it was, or somewhere around there. But anyway, a splinter group of the IRA that didn't really like the idea of the peace deal had a car bombing. 29 people were killed. And in the song, they begin to read off the names of some of the victims that were killed during that bombing. And it's again, and I think now even recently there was the interview I saw with Bono after, just recently when he came out with his memoir 40, that he's just celebrating all that is now happening in Ireland as they continue to seek after peace, even when this tragedy had happened shortly after the signing of the peace agreement that would bring about a new era in Northern Ireland. And so as we come into this Christmas season, let's keep working for peace on earth, and let's listen to the song now.
On earth, we need it now. I'm sick of all of this hanging around. Sick of sorrow, I'm sick of the pain. Sick of hearing again and again that there's gonna be peace on earth. Where I grew up, there weren't many trees. Where there was, we tear them down and use them on our enemies. They say that what you mock will surely overtake you, and you become a monster, so the monster will not break you. And it's already gone too far. You said that if you go in hard, you won't get hurt. Jesus, can you take the time to throw a drowning man a line? Peace on earth. Tell the ones who hear no sound, whose sons are living in the ground, peace on earth. No, who's the wise? No one cries like a mother cries for peace on earth. She never got to say goodbye, to see the color in his eyes. Now he's in the dirt. Peace on earth. They're reading names out over the radio. All the folks the rest of us won't get to know. Sean and Julia, Gareth, Ann and Breeder, their lives are bigger than any big idea. Jesus, can you take the time to throw a drowning man a line? Peace on earth. To tell the ones who hear no sound, whose sons are living in the ground, peace on earth. Jesus, in the song you wrote, the words are sticking in my throat. Peace on earth. Hear it every Christmas time, but hope and history won't rhyme. So what's it worth? This peace on earth. Peace on earth. Peace on earth. Peace on earth.
So this summer, I got to go to one of my bucket list concerts. As I think I mentioned in a previous episode, I have been doing some, this summer I spent some time working, doing part-time parking at the local amphitheater music venue we have right here in our area. That way I could get a little bit of pay while I helped at the concert and could attend the concert without having to pay the crazy ticket prices. So enjoyed some great shows this summer. And one that I was really looking forward to and glad I was picked for was the Goo Goo Dolls, one of my favorite all time bands. Yeah, I'm a kid in the '90s and the '80s, so um, yeah, they're part of my culture, part of my growing up years. And this last song for this episode is one of theirs. When I went to the show, it was just like really cool. I actually had to work through the intro, but actually my shift was done before the Goo Goo Dolls got on stage, and then I was able to just hang out in the background of the amphitheater in the back of the crowd and enjoy the concert, kind of sitting off watching from the sidelines. And it was a great show. And this song in particular was one of those moments when I was really excited to hear them do that live. And it's not one that I would necessarily call atypical because it's become part of our cultural playlist for Christmas. Maybe a little less so these days, probably more so in the late, from after it came out in 2006, probably into the 2010s. But it's Better Days by the Goo Goo Dolls. And when I hear this song from my perspective as a follower of Jesus and someone who's committed to living out the mission of Jesus in my community, um, this is kind of what I call a missional understanding of Christmas. It's makes the incarnation of Jesus, the arrival of Jesus, about more than some sweet sentimental feelings we have once a year, or kind of this event that initiates a personal transaction with God that eventually gets us a ticket to heaven someday. It it calls for real transformation in the world around us as we embrace this one poor child who saved the world, as the song says. And it calls us to embrace God's mission to restore the world he created to him again and to bring it back to the created design and the good things that God desires to see in this world. And it reminds us of the opportunities there for recreation to happen in our communities and in our lives and in our world. It talks repeatedly, the chorus ends with tonight's the night the world begins again. And I don't know what, I know Resnick's got a Catholic background, and you can definitely see it in there. But, and I don't know what all his intention was with the song, but the bridge to me is a prayer, that I wish everyone was loved tonight, and somehow we could stop this endless fight and just have a chance that maybe we'll find better days. And when you watch the video, I'm going to actually use the official video for this one. It's really cool the way they pan into the trees. It's in a forest scene, and there's little carvings of love, faith, hope, truth, like all the things that we seek to have in a good world that has been transformed by the goodness and the life of Jesus, and the life that Jesus lived out in people who truly are following him and not just following some civil religion. So as we wrap this one up, let's watch and listen to Better Days by the Goo Goo Dolls.
And you ask me what I want this year, and I try to make this kind and clear. Just a chance that maybe we'll find better days. 'Cause I don't need boxes wrapped in strings and designer love and empty things. Just a chance that maybe we'll find better days. So take these words and sing out loud, 'cause everyone is forgiven now. 'Cause tonight's the night the world begins again. Someplace simple where we could live, and something only you can give, and that's faith and trust and peace while we're alive. And the one poor child who saved this world, and there's 10 million more who probably could, if we all just stopped and said a prayer for them. So take these words and sing out loud, towards everyone is forgiven now. 'Cause tonight's the night the world begins again. 'Cause tonight's the night the world begins again.
This has been The Way of Kanan. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you want to follow along with other content that I am creating, as particularly posts and notes that I have on my Substack, just check out wayofkanan.substack.com. Thank you.